Everybody, Sly here, and today I'm going to be doing another reaction video, and it's the old top 5 once again. I've been enjoying watching these old top 5s. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these all top 5 videos, especially on the month of Halloween. This one is titled 5 Cases of Demonic Possessions and Exorcism. Yeah, Possession and Exorcism. So we're going to react and see what kind of demonic possession and exorcism they have.
Hello and welcome to All Top 5s.
Hello, Steve.
Regardless of your religious or spiritual beliefs, the idea of demonic possession is a terrifying one, and there have been many cases all over the world for centuries. This concept makes a great premise for horror films, but what about when it supposedly happens in real life? Here are 5 interesting cases, some well known, some not so well known, which leave me more than a little spooked.
Here we go. This is going to be very interesting.
Number 5. Michael Taylor.
Michael Taylor.
In 1974, in Yorkshire,
So that's Michael.
A man called Michael Taylor admitted that he had had a lustful relationship with the leader of his Christian fellowship group, Marie Robinson, and that he felt that he had evil inside him.
Really?
This was after Michael's wife had discovered the relationship and revealed the details to the group. Soon after, Michael and Marie had a heated argument when Michael felt the evil growing. He received absolution from the vicar, but his behaviour grew worse and caused concern amongst the church. The vicar called on ministers with experience of deliverance and exorcism to help him free Michael of the demons within him. In October that year, the priests gathered with Michael in St. Thomas's Church in Barnsley. Throughout the night until 6 in the morning, they performed the ceremony of exorcism in a long and arduous attempt to cast out Michael's demons. The official statement given about the exorcism was as follows. In an all-night ceremony, they invoked and cast out at least 40 demons, including those of incest, bestiality, blasphemy, and lewdness.
Oh my God.
Exhausted, they allowed Michael Taylor to go home, although they felt that at least 3 demons, insanity, murder, and violence, were still left in him.
Wow.
The fact that they claimed the demon murder was still inside Michael is really worrying. And the really terrifying thing is that afterwards, Michael had gone home and actually murdered his wife and pet dog in a violent fashion.
Oh my God.
Police found him standing in the street, naked and covered with blood.
Oh.
He was tried for murder, but was acquitted as he was declared insane. That's a really scary case of demonic possession that makes you wonder if he shouldn't have been kept at the church that morning to exorcise those last 3 demons.
Well, yeah, no kidding.
Number 4. Clara Germana Sele. Here's an older case of possession.
Clara Germana Sele.
St. Michael's Mission,
Apologize if I pronounce it wrong.
Natal, South Africa. 16-year-old Clara displayed some terrifying demonic activity and underwent a long exorcism. Originally an orphan, Clara had been baptized when she was still a baby in Africa. Although she wasn't reported to have displayed any unusual behavior throughout her childhood, when she was 16, she confessed to her priest that she had made a pact with Satan himself.
Oh no, why?
Why
would you do that?
Speak and understand several languages, such as Polish, German, French, and others that she had never learned before. Another nun wrote about Clara's guttural animal-like voice, saying, "No animal had ever made such sounds, neither the lions of East Africa nor the angry bulls."
Probably she sounds like she uses the devil's voice.
Orchestrated
the
by
beast.
Satan himself, had formed a hellish choir. Apparently, Clara could also mind read, taunting those around her by revealing their darkest secrets that she couldn't possibly
and then
know.
share those darkest
She had an
secrets to
aversion
those
sacred
people.
objects and had incredible strength as well, reportedly being able to throw the nuns attending her across the room and causing bodily harm. She was also said to have levitated high in the air in different positions. Interestingly, throwing holy water on Clara made her snap out of her possessed state. The priest to whom she had confessed her satanic pact called on the director of St. Michael's Mission to attend an exorcism on Clara to drive away Satan's presence. One report states that the 2 priests spent 2 entire days performing these rites. Clara allegedly knocked the Bible from one of the priest's hands and tried choking him with his robes.
Oh my God.
Despite this, reports state that the exorcism was successful and Clara was released from Satan's grip. Now, there's not a huge amount of information or many sources about this case, but apparently Clara displayed just about every bit of demonic behaviour on record, making this a really intriguing example.
Wow, that is...
Number 3. Roland Doe.
Roland
One of the
Doe.
most famous alleged cases of demonic possession, the case of Roland Doe, or sometimes known as Robbie Mannheim, in
Robbie
the US
Mannheim.
in 1940s, led to the novel and film The
Exorcism.
probably the biggest possession
Or The
story
Exorcist.
of all time.
Sorry.
The boy is, to this day, still anonymous, but has been labelled Roland Doe and Robbie Mannheim. I'll refer to him as Roland.
Right.
Roland was allegedly exposed to a Ouija board by his spiritualist aunt,
Why?
as he'd shown interest in the board. After the aunt passed away, the family began experiencing weird sounds, moving furniture, and levitating objects whenever Roland was around. Frightened, the family called upon their pastor to help them. The pastor, upon witnessing this activity, referred them to a Catholic priest. Roland was taken to Edward Hughes, who performed an exorcism on him at a university hospital. While this exorcism was being conducted, Roland reportedly managed to free one of his hands from its restraint, reached under the mattress, broke a bed spring, and used it to slash at the priest.
Wow.
The wounds sustained to Edward's arm meant that the ceremony had to be stopped early. The family moved on to St. Louis to stay with relatives and get in touch with Professor Raymond Bishop and his contact in the church, William Bowden. Both men paid a visit to Roland and claimed to witness a bed shaking, objects flying around, and Roland talking with a guttural growl, showing disdain for any holy object. William then decided to perform a further exorcism. Two more priests, Walter Halloran and William Van Roe, came to assist William Bowden with this ceremony. Walter claims that as they began, marks began to appear all over Roland's body, including words such as evil and hell. Later on in the exorcism, the mattress of the bed began to shake violently, and Roland managed to break Walter's nose during his violent outbursts. He reportedly went on to live a normal life after this final ritual, however. There have been claims of exaggeration and religious scaremongering, with a lot of the details of the events either being hyperbole or explainable. Certainly, Roland himself was often known to be a difficult child, prone to playing mean tricks and having terrible tantrums. Who knows what the truth really is, though?
Wow.
Number 2. Elizabeth Knapp.
Elizabeth
Moving
Knapp.
centuries back into the deeply religious colony of Groton,
With a K.
Massachusetts, a
Knapp.
well-documented case of demonic possession was alleged to have occurred from 1671 and into 1672. It's a really in-depth and bizarre case written by Samuel Willard, a Puritan preacher in the colony who had first-hand experience with Elizabeth Knapp's possession. Elizabeth herself, 16 years old at the time, was a servant in the preacher Samuel Willard's household. Samuel began to notice that Elizabeth was acting strangely and tentatively thought that there were signs of demonic possession. Despite this, and highly unusually for the time, he adopted a very scientific attitude and actually called upon a doctor to examine Elizabeth to eliminate any medical explanations or possibilities. When the doctor was unable to explain her symptoms, Samuel began to treat the case as a possession. He began to document each one of her fits and other disturbances carefully. Elizabeth grew worse as time went on. She would grab her legs, neck, or breasts and scream, often about strangulation, and often went from hysterical laughter to uncontrollable crying and screaming.
Oh my
in an
gosh.
instant. She began to hallucinate, claiming that she could see 2 persons with her, and another man who floated around her bed. During her fits, Elizabeth's body would contort horribly, and she became violent, yelling, "Money, money, sin and misery, misery." A month later, Elizabeth confessed to Samuel that she had met with the devil, who had offered her money, eternal youth, and a way to see the world. The devil had also showed her the book in which other women had made blood pacts, and urged her to kill other people and herself, although she refused. These claims lasted until she fell into a catatonic state after a 2-day fit, and claimed that she had finally made a pact with, and slept with, the devil. She spoke in deep animal-like growls, insulting Samuel and his position in the church. Samuel's account went quiet for over a month, but after this he began writing again, claiming that the devil had taken almost full control over Elizabeth's body, controlling her actions and speech. After one more fit, she fell silent for 5 days. From there, Samuel stopped his writing, leaving the case to those more learned, aged, and judicious. We don't know what happened to Elizabeth Knapp after this, but Samuel Willard's incredibly detailed scientific and logical account leaves me in no doubt that at least he believes it was a true case of demonic possession. He went on to be the voice of reason in the Salem witch trials 20 years later, so he certainly seemed ahead of his time in terms of reasoning and caution. A really intriguing account that deserves its place in my list.
Wow, that, oh my gosh.
Number 1. Annalise Michel.
Annalise Michel.
This is the absolutely terrifying account that inspired the excellent film The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Okay, I heard about that movie, but I haven't even seen it.
Right, not just
Seen the trailer of it, but
in
holy shit.
1968, in Bavaria, West Germany, Annalise Michel was diagnosed with epilepsy after experiencing a strong convulsion. She was also treated for depression in her late teens, and when she reached 20, she began experiencing strange occurrences.
And
she grew
that
more
was her.
withdrawn, became even more religious than she had been before, and began to claim that she saw the face of devils throughout the day. Annalise was prescribed strong drugs for her epileptic fits and developing psychotic behavior. By 1973, Annalise began to hallucinate whenever she prayed and heard evil voices damning her to hell.
Taunting her in that.
Psychiatric hospital and getting
her to read the Bible.
She became worse and developed a deeper depression. Slowly, she began to show an aversion to religious objects and holy places. By this point, her family and Annalise herself was convinced that she was possessed by demons and that she should request an exorcism. Each priest they approached denied her this ceremony and told her to continue her medical treatment instead. Annalise became even worse, self-harming and becoming more abusive and violent towards others, eating insects and drinking her own urine.
Ew.
By 1975, over 5 years since she began showing these signs of possession, a priest called Ernst Alt decided she wasn't epileptic after all and urged the bishop to allow an exorcism to be performed. The bishop granted this, but on the condition that it remain absolutely secret. Once the exorcism was confirmed, Annalise and her family disregarded medical treatments entirely, ignoring the drugs and relying only on this ceremony. A priest called Arnold Renz performed 67 exorcisms on the girl over the course of 10 months, some lasting for hours. The priests claimed that the demons in the girl spoke to them through her, naming themselves as Lucifer, Judas Iscariot, Nero, and Hitler. There were many more. Annalise refused to eat towards the end of these exorcisms.
Oh my god!
Dying as a kind of martyr to atone for the sins
almighty, man.
Sadly, she died afterwards, with the autopsy stating the cause of death to be malnutrition and dehydration. Indeed, she weighed a mere 68 pounds,
good lord,
30 kilograms at the time of her death. She also apparently had pneumonia. Both priests, Arnold and Ernst, were prosecuted, as were Annalise's parents. After a long, painful trial, the ruling was that the priests be fined, and the parents let off, as the judge ruled that they had suffered enough. It is a tough court case to decide, and is the main point of the movie that I mentioned earlier, but the argument is essentially religion versus science, at least that's what it boils down to, and that's definitely a hard one to debate. Whatever you believe, though, poor Annalise certainly displayed some terrifying, terrifying behaviour. And that's it from All Top 5s for this week. This was a really dark, heavy subject, so my apologies if it scared you. Go and watch one of my happier videos. Top 5 smallest animals, for example.
Well, not this month, unfortunately.
Subject, please do be considerate in the comments. Feel free to discuss it. It's really interesting to have a
my stomach and my heart, it just felt sadness, man.
If you've enjoyed
no
this
joke.
video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Maybe add it to your favorites. It really does help me out, and you can subscribe for a new video every single Tuesday. Peace and love to each and every one of you. Sleep well, and I'll see you all next time on All Top 5s.
I'm just shocked. I mean, that's what happens when you play around with stuff like that, especially Ouija boards or anything that opens the gate to hell, the door to the gate to hell. It's something that you don't want to open, and you should leave it alone. And especially the possession, exorcism, and that. It's just, oh man, the number one, oh my god, like I felt sad inside, really. Like, gosh, it's sad. It's very sad about all of this, like, but because we had no other choice but to continue on in our lives, and hopefully we don't have to, encounter something like that in our lives. We always have to be careful what we do, and just to be safe and not play around with stuff like that. But yeah, that's I'm almost about to cry for sure. But no, I mean, it's very interesting to hear these stories, how these people got possessed and that, and it's just, yeah, that's something that I don't want that in my life. Personally, I don't want stuff like that in my life. Anyways, if you guys and girls enjoy this video, give it a like. If you want more videos like this, hit the subscribe button for more videos, and don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos to come. So, that's all the time I have for this video. My name is Sly, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed me reacting to the old top 5s, 5 cases of demonic possessions and exorcism. And until next time, sleep tight.